Hello everyone and welcome to my book review where I give unhinged, spoiler-free recaps of books that I've recently or not so recently read. And today we are talking about a book that I read last year. So let's see what I remember, okay? Today we are talking about The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. And I really enjoyed this book. There are a few reasons why I like this book. Number one, I read it at a good time. I was in a bad mental state and I wanted to escape from the world. And I saw that book and I thought, oh my gosh, lady pirates, older lady pirates, some sort of devil thing going on. And we're going on an adventure. Sure. Why not? Pure magic, pure nonsense. I'm ready to dive in head first. And I did. Another reason why I really liked this book was that a lot of people didn't like the writing style. I don't remember much of it. When I read books, it's less about how the story is written and it's more about how I'm feeling as I'm reading it. I guess in many ways that can be affected by how it's being written, but the vibe was good. I think the third reason why I really liked this book is that it was chunky, and so it was a little tough for me to get through, but I felt great when I finally got through it. I thought, you know what? Yeah, yes, I did it, got to the end, and I thought, ooh, I know what's happening. And the thing that happened, and I'm happy that it happened. And I like the fact that this book's tone was so lighthearted. It was refreshing. It was lovely. It was a good read. I really enjoyed it. The cover art is beautiful. If you want a fun book that's just about brown people going off on adventures and doing one last adventure, but it might not be one last adventure, and they're sort of all begrudgingly doing this, and you get to meet hot people, and you get to meet a devil dude, and there's queerness, and there's transness, and it's fun. It was a good book. Now, a common complaint that I hear is that, oh, this book is written by a white woman who converted to Islam, and I don't like that. And I want to make something clear. At the end of this book, she clearly states, hey, I'm a white woman who converted to Islam, and guess what? Don't put me in any BIPOC author lists. And it's not like she converted to Islam just to write this book, or to write any of her books. That was a decision, but between her and her higher power. So if that's off-putting for you, then I guess don't read it. I thought that was really cool of her to say that at the end of her book, just to be like, hey, I'm putting it all out there because I know people are going to talk. And then they did talk, and I'm thinking, so you didn't even read the back of the book. Whatever. Next time, we are going to talk about one of the many psychological thrillers that I have read across my life. I have since sort of slowed down on my reading of psychological thrillers because life has become too sad for that. Alrighty. See you next time. Bye bye. Hello everyone and welcome back to my book review where I give unhinged, spoiler-free recaps of books that I've recently or not so recently read. And this is a not so recent read. Today we are talking about one of the many psychological thrillers that I've read in my lifetime, called Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. And this was a really refreshing psychological thriller. I read it almost 2 years ago now, and it was interesting. It was very interesting. It is about a woman who is married to a very wealthy celebrity man, and he is found deceased in a bathtub. And now all eyes are looking at her, trying to figure out, okay, well, number one, did she do it? Most likely. And number two, if she did it, why did she do it? Probably for money. And the wild thing is that she is not worried about going to prison because her husband died. Instead, she's really worried that a secret of hers will come out. And I really enjoyed this book. Number one, racial diversity. The author is Filipino, and I believe so is the main character. And I'm not going to reveal anything, but there are some twists and turns that I did see coming, but I don't ever think that that's a bad thing in terms of books. I really enjoy seeing where the book's going to turn, because that means that you're leaving the breadcrumbs and I'm following the breadcrumbs, you know? Yeah, it was refreshing. It was really lovely. And I was not exactly rooting for her the whole time, because I thought, well, girl, it seems like you did it. I don't know. I don't really know what to say except it seems like you did do it. But then as you learn more and parts of her life get discovered, and then you realize that someone out there knows exactly what's going on, and then there's another person who perishes, and you're like, what's happening? Yeah, it's good. It was fun. It kept me on my toes. So for next time, there's not going to be another book review. I'm just going to give you a rundown of like some of my favorite books that I read this year, and some honorable mentions, and also some books that I started this year and then never finished that I hope to finish next year. Alrighty, see you next time. Bye! Hello everyone, and welcome to my book review where I give unhinged, spoiler-free recaps of books that I've recently or not so recently read, and today is a very special episode where I talk about my top 5 favorite reads from this year. It was really hard to choose because I read so many good books, and just because I didn't include some books in my top 5 doesn't mean that they weren't like some of my favorites. Also, this is in no particular order. Alright. So, starting off strong with The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. This was such a long book to get through, so I felt really gratified when I finally finished it, and I think that's one of the reasons why I loved it so much. Also, because it was so long and because I was listening to the audiobook, it felt really immersive, so I felt like I was really a part of the journey. I loved it. Up next is Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Y. Davis. You know, this is an incredibly informative book. I loved it. I, again, listened to the audiobook version and Angela Davis was reading it, so it felt like that much more real. Also, it was wonderful hearing about a freedom fighter who has been doing this for well over 40 years, because I don't know, it just gave me the courage and the hope in order to continue forward, because time will pass whether I do something or not, so why not pass the time by doing something good, you know? Then we have Several People Are Typing by Calvin Kasulki. What can I say? This was strange. It was a very fun, strange book that I read with a quickness, and I was like, wow, you get me. I love it. We're weird together, and I could just sit in some weirdness for a while. It was great. Next we have Brooms by Jasmine Walls and Teo Duval. This year was filled with horrors and filled with a lot of tragedy and a lot of sadness. And it was really refreshing to read Brooms because it was airy, it was light, it was fun. I loved it. It was a nice comfort read while everything was sort of falling to bits around me. And finally, we have Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I know that I haven't talked about this book, but I really enjoyed it. I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, wow, I wish that I'd picked this up sooner, but I wouldn't have been ready for it then. I've really just gotten my feet into weird sci-fi, and Annihilation was one of the first weird sci-fi books that I read. And so it was really great. And I'm going to read the fourth book soon. I have not read any of the others. I'm just going from first to fourth, and I think that's going to be perfectly fine. Thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate you. This book review would have been nothing if you weren't watching my videos. I really appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. There's currently a flood warning where I am, so we'll see how getting to work is. I hope you're staying safe, and can't make any predictions about next year, but I'll be here. I'm going to put all my book reviews onto my YouTube channel, which I'm going to link to this, so you'll be able to see me, and you'll be able to see my book reviews. I'll be posting on here until the wheels fall off. Okay, bye, see you next time.